All right, the losing streak is over. Good for the Padres. They get the win 4-0. And this was a fun pitching matchup to watch, especially if you're a Padres fan today, because you come out on the winning side. Dylan Cease was Dylan Cease. For all those Padres fans and I saw it on social media, and I know social media is not every Padres fan and what they're thinking, but Padres fans that were totally unconfident in Dylan Cease going into the game. Yeah, I wasn't super confident because he had been giving up home runs, but it felt like there were Padres fans that were almost giving up on Dylan Cease. And for anyone that did that, that's on you because Dylan Cease has always had the talent. He's had starts during this stretch, by the way, where he's pitched well. I believe it was against the Nats that last time that he had that really good start. And then today, this is the guy that the Padres acquired, obviously. I'm not saying that he's going to do this every time out, but when he attacks the zone like he did, how many first pitch strikes did he have today? It was so great to watch. The fastball was 98 early on, and then it was 100 in his last inning. So I don't know if it was him just being pissed off that he's not pitching great start in, start out. You know, he's not as consistent as he wants to be. I don't know if it was because he was facing the Braves. I don't know if it was like, let's air it out because I got the All-Star break. I don't know what it was, but hey, he was on today and he kept going. It's either he's going to go slider heavy or he's going to go fastball heavy in these at bats, and that fastball really stood out to me today. But he used the knuckle curve, the slider, and it was work. He didn't hang those. He There was one pitch, I think it was early on in the game where it was right down the middle, and I'm like, oh well, I think it was against Albies. Good thing they didn't capitalize on that. Like that would have been that big mistake. I don't think there was anyone on in that situation though, so it wouldn't have been hugely damaging. But he got out of the second and third jam, bunch of strikeouts. So that was awesome to see Dylan Cease bounce back. And then the offense. You know, I said on my pregame, like, yeah, probably gonna have to manufacture the runs. I don't know if you're gonna have the power against Ronaldo Lopez today, and that's what they did. David Peralta, bottom second, getting that RBI double, ground rule double, taking it the other way. He came through again later in the game as well, pissed off Ronaldo Lopez. That ball wasn't hit very hard, but it doesn't matter. Find some grass, and that's what he did. Donovan Solano, of all people, he's still second base to get into scoring position for that ground rule double to give the Padres the lead. And then I love how they got the second run. Tyler Wade gets on base on a grounder to first. Lopez doesn't go cover first. Wade hustles, beats him to the bag. Something that you can't teach, right, is the hustle, right? It's the guy inside has to do that. He has to want to hustle. And that's what Tyler Wade has been for this Padres team. And you could say, well, Ben, he has to hustle because if he doesn't, then he's not on the team. Well, I guess that's fair, but this is who this guy is. He takes on any role that the Padres ask of him, whether it's emergency catcher. He goes into the bullpen and works on that, whether it's playing it short, hitting bottom of the order, pinch running. I think he was pinch running for the Arraez walk-off against the Dodgers earlier this year. Like, whatever it is, I was I was not the biggest fan of Tyler Wade, like what he brought. Maybe that's because I didn't watch him day in, day out with the Yankees, and I didn't know as much as like Yankees fans would know about him. Or I think it was with the Angels, as maybe Angels fans would know. But he's won me over. Like, this is a guy that I want on this roster, on this bench. Is the power there? No, but he brings so many other things along with that, or excuse me, along without the power. You know, it's just other ways that you can be valuable. You know, Donovan Solano is valuable in ways that Tyler Wade is not. So that's what makes this team. And you got to give credit to AJ Preller. And I've said this a lot this year. Um, and hopefully others are giving credit to AJ as well. Because if we're going to give him, you know, the flack, the negativity for bad moves, then I'm gonna give him the positive. The you know, I'm gonna here. I'll play this. You got to give him the applause for the moves that he is making. Solano, Jeremiah Estrada, Profar obviously for 1 mil, bringing Merrill up when he did, and being confident in him. There's other guys obviously. Matt Waldron sticking with him. Obviously, you make the move for Dylan Cease. We've seen some positives there. You trade Soto, create some flexibility, and Michael King has been one of the Padres' more consistent guys, definitely as of late. And where would the Padres be without having a guy like Michael King in the rotation with the injuries that have happened? Kyle Higashioka, who Preller acquired, and we weren't really talking about Higgy at the time of that deal, obviously, but look what has happened there. So there's others that I haven't hit on, but like Preller, I mean, he deserves his props. Peralta, Solano, Profar. There's other guys as well, but yeah, Arraez. Now, Arraez is a guy that I wanted to hit on too. After I wanted to hit on how they scored all of these chances here. So Arraez came through bottom five with a double down the line. Peralta again, 3-0. And then Manny, it was good to see him have that homer, made it 4-0. Mistake pitch, and he takes advantage of it, takes it to dead center. When Manny goes, this team goes. And the Padres would have won this game without the Manny Machado home run. But, I mean, just go look at the numbers. When Manny's had good years, the Padres have had good results. When he doesn't have a good year, the Padres don't have those. So hopefully Manny can continue to play better because that's what he's been doing. He has been playing better. I know like this losing streak, he hasn't been hitting very well. At least I was reading Kevin Acey's newsletter and he had a tidbit on that. But overall, for like the last, how long has it been? Month? Something like that. Last few weeks, it's been better. It's been more like the Manny that we need for this Padres team. Now, Luis Arraez, who I wanted to get to. So Annie Heilbrunn, I did not see this for some reason before the game, but she put out a tweet. Luis Arraez, I guess, spoke to the media today, and this is before the game. He said that he's been playing through thumb pain for the last month after jamming it. I think that is referring to in Kansas City when he dove headfirst. That was shoulder, though, wasn't it? I don't know if he jammed it there or whenever he jammed it. Maybe I'm blanking on when he jammed it. Anyway, it affects his hitting, throwing, everything. Trainers have been working on it, and it's taped for games, but it's not helping much. He's hopeful rest during the All-Star break will do it good. And I guess he's not sure if he's going to be playing in the All-Star game or not. Well, if he's saying that hopefully rest during the All-Star break will do it good, then don't play in the All-Star game. You know, we don't need you playing in the All-Star game then. You can go, but I don't need you playing. I don't need you taking batting practice. You're Luis Arraez. We know that you know how to put the bat to the ball. you know, like I am an advocate, and I put this tweet out, and of course he has a big game today. So maybe you're welcome. I don't know, but I'm an advocate of putting him on the IL. I mean, it's 10-day IL. It's not 10-game IL. Like, let's remember that. So I don't think it would hurt. They just got Xander Bogaerts back. It's not like he's not back, and then they'd have to go with Tyler Wade playing every day. It's you can have Crony still be at first. You have Solano DH every day, which is totally fine. And you have Bogaerts play second base, and there you go. And if Kim doesn't play a day, you can have Wade play. If Manny has to DH a day, you can have Solano go play third. There's ways to work around it. And with this Padres schedule, you put them on the IL. Maybe they put them on the IL after tomorrow's game. I don't know. Let's say they do that, because I don't think they'd put him on the IL today. So 10 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he'd be back for, I think, what would that be? The Baltimore Orioles series. So he'd miss the Cleveland series, Cleveland and Washington, I believe, but he'd be back for Baltimore. I don't think that's the end of the world. They just played without Bogaerts for a while, and they're still hanging in there. I think they can survive a little bit without Luis Arraez. Let's see, how many how many games he would miss, but let's see how the healing would do if you put him on the IL for those 10 days. If it doesn't get better, then okay, you can fight through it for the season, but at least you try to get that better so it's not affecting it. Because if you go look at his numbers recently, he's not hitting as well as he once was when he first got to the Padres. I think Jay Posner, former editor of the STUT, SDUT, sorry, San Diego Union Tribune, he put out a tweet here, I think, or there was someone that put out a tweet about how Luis Arraez has been doing. His first 31 games hit 376. He's at 233 over his last 28 games. That was entering today. And Arraez, why I bring up the average is because he is known for his average. That's how he brings the value, right? The bat to ball to this team. So clearly he's not right. He's not 100%. I would take advantage of this All-Star break for him to miss minimum amount of time, miss 2 series instead of 3. I think it's something to think about. You know, if the Padres don't have Luis Arraez for a couple series, I don't think that their chances of making the postseason will go down that much. I know that, Cleveland, that's a good team, but you have Xander back. You have Donovan Solano. You have Cronenworth. There's guys on this offense that can contribute here, and overall, the pitching has to be better. I think they can be without. It's not like Arraez is hitting 350 or 300. That's not what he's doing. The last few weeks, right? So I would not bet that it's going to happen. I think the Padres see like, hey, Arraez, good game today. Still hits the ball hard sometimes. You keep him in there. Made a good play at first base today. Made a really bad base running mistake though. So I'm glad that the Padres didn't have to pay for that in this game, and they were able to still win 4-0, because that was painful to watch there early. But for me, it's just something to think about. I'm trying to think about these guys long term this season, not short term. We've seen this year where they've been without guys looking at long term. Maybe could have pitched through it, but or played through it in some cases this year, but probably better to just sit down for a little bit. Let's see how it can do. If he can't recover, again, like I said earlier, if he can't recover, then yeah, you put him back in because you still want Luis Arraez in there. But I would still take those 2 series. If you miss the playoffs, there's games that we can go back to earlier this year where we can point to that's why they missed the playoffs, not because you had Luis Arraez sit for a couple of series. There's still talent in this lineup.